Good, happy Tuesday morning, August 21st, 2018. I'm Riley King, and welcome to the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. Let's begin. First up, AG wanted suspect killed in officer-involved shooting in Rochester. Let's take a listen to the video from WMUR News 9, Siobhan Lopez.
Door when it matters most. For more than a decade, he's been right there, everywhere. And when American jobs are on the line, he leads the charge. ABC's World News Tonight with David Muir is America's most watched newscast, and we thank you.
Well, the AG says this is very early on in their investigation. At this point, they cannot say who fired the first shot, but we now have much more information about what led up to this deadly officer-involved shooting. The AG says last week, Rochester police put out what is called an officer safety briefing, saying they had credible information that 38-year-old Douglas Heath was staying in Rochester and may be armed with 3 firearms, and that he had, quote, no intention of going to jail. Investigators say Heath had warrants for drug trafficking and fleeing from state police in Maine. Officers spotted Heath's car today and tried to pull him over. They say he eventually crashed his vehicle at the intersection of Route 125 and Oak Street. They say Heath got out of the passenger side and there was an exchange of gunfire. Heath was shot and died at the scene. They say a gun was found near his body. Several other drivers witnessed the whole thing and captured video on their cell phones. There is one video circulating on social media that is too graphic to show on TV, but the woman whose husband shot this video says they feared for their lives.
I was thinking about my grandson and whether I'd see him again, and we slouched down in the truck and just sat and waited for somebody to tell us to do something. You know, we were terrified to move the vehicle.
No officers or private citizens were physically injured during this incident. The troopers and officers were taken to a hospital where they were evaluated and released.
Investigators say there were 2 Rochester police officers and 2 state troopers on scene at the time of the shooting. At this point, it's unclear who fired their weapons. And per protocol, all 4 of those officers are on administrative leave during this investigation. Now, they also say that the Rochester police cruisers are equipped with cameras and microphones. They may have captured part of this incident. Anyone with any information is asked to contact state police. We're live in Rochester tonight. Siobhan Lopez, WMUR News 9.
And Siobhan, as you know, the Attorney General mentioned at least one civilian recorded video of this shooting, and this is a video right now circulating on Facebook of the shooting. We aren't showing it in its entirety because of the graphic nature of that video showing those shots being fired.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. AG man charged in connection with Dover suspicious deaths. Victims ID as suspect's wife, father. Let's take a listen to the video from WMUR News 9, Tim Callery.
Tonight, an arrest has been made after 2 people were found dead in Dover this morning. The Attorney General's office charged 44-year-old Jeremy Coella with second-degree murder in connection to the deaths of his wife, 43-year-old Joanna Cole, and his father, 69-year-old Francis Coella. Neighbors, many of them say they were quite surprised to wake up to all the police activity today.
When I left this morning, it was around 6. There was nothing going on. Everything was quiet, like normal.
Oh, they're just nice people. The gentleman worked from his garage, and they had a dog. They're very nice people.
Now, the causes of death of both Joanna and Francis Coella pending autopsy results that are scheduled for tomorrow. Jeremy Coella is set to be arraigned tomorrow as well.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Facade suddenly falls from popular liquor store. Let's take a listen to the video from WCVB Boston.
Right now at National Floors Direct, we'll give you 3 full rooms of carpeting, next day installation, padding, everything, all for just $888, and no interest for 1 year. Call National Floors Direct at 888-400-FLOOR. Change is good.
Whole Atlas sign fell off the building in front of me.
Jonathan Cahill was just feet away as the heavy sign that spans both sides of the liquor store crashed down.
Next thing I heard a snapping noise, like a big loud noise, and I looked up towards Atlas, and then right as I looked up, the whole awning or whatever it is came down and smashed into the ground.
The Popular store is often busy, and that sign collapsed right across the front entrance.
I thought someone was under it because it was a pretty big crash, you know, it was loud and on all the dust and everything.
And I thank God I could have been right underneath that place there.
Firefighters searched under the splintered wood and bent up metal using thermal imaging to ensure no one was trapped. Now the investigation turns to the cause. Investigators say renovations were done to this sign a few years ago.
It's not that old of a renovation that they did to the building, but for some reason it gave way.
As inspectors try to pinpoint what failed, one of the owners surveyed the damage, thankful that there was a bit of a lull when the sign gave way.
We're just thrilled that everybody's okay. Yeah. Everybody who works here got all the customers out of the store right away, and it's a miracle.
So quite a bit of cleanup left for these guys. Investigators do say that it appears that codes were followed when these renovations were done a few years ago, so it may take some time to figure out exactly what went wrong. We're live in Quincy, John Atwater, WCBB News Center 5.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Maine woman accused of burning man's home down after argument. Let's take a listen to the video from WMTW News 8 Maine.
For those restless spirits, and for those who thirst for more, Coors Light is colder, cleaner, and crisper. To refresh you for what's next, Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer.
Accused of setting a house on fire in Farmington, set to face a judge today.
Angie Clark was arrested on Friday, more than a week after the alleged crime. Kathleen Jordan is here right now to explain what happened.
Yeah, Christina, and David Clark was taken to a hospital for an evaluation before she was taken into custody, which explains how many days passed here. But this morning, we are learning more details about the moments leading up to that fire. Investigators say Clark and the homeowner got into an argument on August 6th, and when she went to leave, she set that house on Industry Road on fire. Now Robert Nato is without a home, those flames completely destroying the house. The State Fire Marshal's office is working with Farmington Police right now, and authorities have not said how Clark and Nato know each other. She faces arson and aggravated criminal mischief charges, but we do hope to learn even more about the motive in this and more details about the case later today when she goes before a judge in Franklin County. In the studio this morning, Kathleen Jordan, WMTW News 8.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. China's biggest risk may be its property market, not the trade war. China's hot real estate market remains a challenge for authorities trying to maintain stable economic growth in the face of trade tensions with the U.S. Colorado Man charged with murder says wife killed daughters. Let's take a listen to the video.
This afternoon, my office filed formal charges against Christopher Lee Watts. The charges that we filed are as follows. 3 counts of murder in the first degree after deliberation, 1 count naming Shanann Watts, 1 count naming Bella, 1 count naming Celeste. Each of those is a Class 1 felony. We filed 1 count of unlawful termination of a pregnancy in the first degree, which is a Class 2 felony as a result of Shanann being pregnant at the time of her death. We filed 3 counts of tampering with a deceased human body, each of which is a Class 3 felony, each of which count obviously names Shanann, Bella, and Celeste as victims. Please keep in mind that at this point these are merely allegations. There are formal charges. However, the defendant is presumed innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. The defendant will be advised of these charges and the possible penalties as well as his rights tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock in Division 5.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. A Colorado man told police that he killed his pregnant wife in a rage when he discovered she had strangled their 2 daughters after he sought a separation, according to an arrest affidavit released on Monday. And that does it for the Riley King Newscast right here on the Riley King Network. I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you back here later on today for another newscast. And I'll have a news report coming up in a little bit. Goodbye, everyone.